The shading means that everywhere you have a surface which is on the direction of the shadow. So for example here, this side is on the direction of the shadow. This side here is in the direction of the shadow. Then we'll add a layer of gray or black pencil to create contrast. So what you want to create, in fact, is this. If I take my keyboard, you see that the silver here is very light and here it's dark, which means that every surface, even if it's flat, you always have the light traveling from one point to the other. So if the light hits this area, then the light will travel through the surface and sort of disappear a little bit. And this happens also on small surfaces. So basically what we try to do is that everywhere you have a surface, we will recreate this effect. I give you an example on this black area. You can see that here I made it darker than here. So I came with a black pencil here and darkened this area, and I came with a white pencil and I lightened this area. And the result is that I create a gradient on this surface, and this will add the realism. And this effect, I add it everywhere. So I added it here, black to white. I added it somehow here, so it's lighter here and it's darker here. So now our job is to really create this effect. So there's two ways of doing this. The first one is to use the C4 marker, and the second one is to use the black pencil. So what we will do is that we will play with both. So let's see how we do this. I take the C4 and I will add another layer of marker in the exact same way, so I will follow the curve. And I add this new layer of marker in the direction of the shadow. This is why in this method I ask to start with the shadow, because then it indicates you where the light comes from. When you place the shadow on one side, you know that the light will hit the other side, and therefore you know that all the areas which are on the side of the shadow will be dark. That's why I'm saying that it's a simplified method, because once you know this, you don't need to learn all the academic lessons of light and shadow. So let's do the same here. So this area is directly looking at the shadow. And you can use the same thing where you emphasize the border and then you come inside. And again, it's important that you always do the same movement following the construction curve, so the curve of the surface. And I'm placing this line here to indicate a sort of gradient, and the gradient, you see that we will emphasize it after. Again, now we will place this one and indicate a small rad. Then we will do the same thing with this. So let's say that the light comes from here on each of these elements, which means that this side will be lighter and this side will be darkened. And the same thing will happen here. So when you sketch, it's very important that, in fact, what you do is to always improve the quality of your gradients. So the quality of this thing that I mentioned. So I keep going and I will add an extra layer of black here. And I will improve the gradient here. So it was a bit in different steps before with the marker. And now I will do it properly with the black one.